So the one last uh, dealing with REST APIs, or in fact any kind of API. So what is an API? Application Program Interface, if you want to go by the full name, and it's an interface between your web application and your programming language. The developer puts your code in Java or any other language which he likes, Perl or something, and then he would call from database the data. There's no use if that data is not being displayed in the web application, right? So he gets the data from the DB. How do he send that data across to the web application? He needs some kind of interface. That interface is API. Okay, so why REST? You can read that later about the REST and SOAP. There are two types of APIs, REST and SOAP. REST is a bit old one, SOAP is a bit newer one, but
Are you showing screen, by the way?
not yet.
I don't see anything.
Not yet. I'll share in a while.
Okay. Okay.
So REST works over the regular HTTP or HTTPS protocol, and lately the capabilities of REST APIs have been realized, and the REST API is in the market high again. Okay, SOAP API was implemented, assuming the REST API was a bit complicated and weak, but later on there's a lot of stuff that was discovered, and it's easy to control a REST API and work with it. Okay. So coming to REST APIs, what can a REST API do? It can get data from DB, or in fact any source like Excel sheet or DB, or NoSQL like MongoDB. In fact, any data source. If you get the information and put it up in the web application, then you have forms. So you fill in the data and push it. So that is called as post. So you send the data to the DB, writing it. You have a table, you add a new row, and that's called as post. So that also is dealt by REST APIs. Then you have an existing data, you want to modify it, or maybe you have some data of an employee, for example, I have this my login, and then I would kind of add few information, edit few information here. Okay, I have the option to raise a new query. I have some doubt, I put up a new query. So this query and its information would be posted to the DB. And now I have my profile. I want to edit my profile. So it's already in there and I'm modifying it. So that operation would be called as put. And then I resign from my company, for example, and the company would no more need my information and they would delete it. So delete is a operation which would deal with that stuff. So these are the basic operations. They are called operations. The procedure whichever you perform is called as operation with regards to REST API. With respect to REST API. Okay. So in order to get information, sometimes you will have to pass some information. What do you want to get? You want to get the user details with the name Anusha. Okay. So you send that information. So how would you be sending that information? Okay. You might send that information in the form of URL as a parameter, or you put a question mark at the end, like example.com question mark user equal to Anusha. Okay, so these continuation is called as path parameter, and something which comes after the question mark is called query parameter. Okay, so these path and query parameters will be present for all the operations, because you simply can't get all the employee details if you are searching for one specific person. You would like to pass their username to get their information, and you would like to add some new employee details. So you would just add it by a simple URL and a payload. Uh, Not to make it too complicated, when you send a request, you will send the URL and the details, the list of the biodata of the person. Okay, that you can send in the form of XML or JSON or form encoded, or put it in a file and attach the file, which is called as multipart. So the request contains the URL which has to be hit, I mean the application where you want to create the user. Obviously you cannot go and create an Verizon for a user who has come into Qualcomm, right? So you would want to give proper information. You would then pass the biodata in the form of payload. However you pass it, in whichever format, it is called as payload. Okay. So same with put. You pass the information, the username which you want to edit, and the payload containing the modifications. Okay. Then delete. You might want to pass the username here as well, or simply call the entire thing to delete the entire database all in all. Same like get. You want to get the entire stuff, or user by user. Delete also does not have any payload necessarily. Okay, most of the times, 99%, you don't have any payload for get and delete. Whereas for post and put, you will be having payload. Okay, so to deal with it, so it's not exactly Selenium, but any testing in general is referred to as Selenium. Okay, because end of the day you use it to compare in the web page. Okay, so this is a sample code where you would send the URL which you are working on, then the request method is get, and then get the response. Once you get the response, you validate it against your web application. Okay, ping this URL as well. Alright, so anyways, in case of any request, there are few other operations like patch, head options, which are minor operations. They are not used so frequently. They are used for a developer to check access to the application, something similar. Okay. And then, so post, get, put, delete. Most of them will be returning something in the 200 series, between 200 and 299 if it has passed. Okay, the request has passed, it will be returning somewhere around between 200 and 299. Then it will be returning somewhere around the 400s if your request is not framed correctly. The URL is wrong, or the user does not exist, whatever you're passing, it would return somewhere around 400, like 404 not found, or 403 forbidden, or 405 not permitted. Okay, few these are called status codes. For APIs, you can go through the status codes separately. Okay, to have a clear understanding, you get all the list of the status codes that are available in dealing the RESTful services or REST APIs. And then, uh, yeah, as you see, infrequent methods are options in head. So, and then if something is wrong with the server side, like your database is not responding or the way the database has responded and your API is configured as a conflict, it would return an error message somewhere around the 500x. Okay, so there are lots of error codes over there. I can go through them. Mostly we would be going through 200, 404, 500. Okay. And for post it would be 201, for delete it would be 204 sometimes. After deleting it will say that the content is not found anymore. 404 not found is like it didn't find at all. 204 is like it found, it deleted, and now nothing is found. Okay, so that is it, the REST API. So if you want to automate, this will be your sample code. Then in response, if you are getting a JSON, so this is how you deal with JSON. It is called as JSON parsing, P-A-R-S-E. So you write a JSON parsing code to understand what is present inside JSON, and you extract information out of it. Once you extract the information out of it, uh, you have a sample API here to work with. Okay. So this would simply do a get operation and it would return a JSON. Okay. So you here in the get operation you would replace the URL with some working URL which has been provided downstairs, and then run the request. Once you get the JSON object, okay, let me get you walk through JSON. So JSON is wrote in clusters like this. Okay. For example, you have a contracting company and they contract employees over various organizations. So this would be the country where they would put some candidates to, and then it will have the list of candidates. Okay. Here it is having some of the information, but the country and then the list. JSON is more or less like a hash map. It is a group of arrays with keys. So this is called the key and this is called the value. In this case, this is called the key and this entire thing inside the square bracket is the value, and it can be an array like this. Okay. So it's a combination of key value pairs. The value can be anything ranging from an integer string to an array to another JSON. It can be as complicated as possible. So to get out of that, you would want to get, uh, if you get this into variable called x, okay, then you would read this implicates an array. So the array has 250 items. So inside the array, you would say x of 0 to get the first element, then of name. Okay. So this is how you get into the first element and get the name out of it. This might look something like a two-dimensional array. Okay, but that's how you get stuff out of JSON. So yeah, get JSON object of I dot get string place ID. So you're passing two parameters. You're getting first object and then you're getting place ID out of it. Okay. So that works only for this URL. For another URL, the response will change and then the string will change here to name, right? So you can print out all those details, or you might want to open your web application with the help of Selenium. If you have a table, you can cross-check them. Okay. So this is more about APIs, nothing much. Okay. I think I've passed. Yeah, I've done it. So REST APIs, when working through a Unix flavored, Linux flavored machine, the request will look like this. Curl, content type. This is called header. Okay, then if you have authentication, you will pass username and password. Otherwise, just ignore this chunk. Then X signifies the request, which is get here, which is post here, X is put and delete in other cases. Then you pass on the URL, whatever you want to work with. And if in case it is post, you would have to pass the payload as well, right adjacent to it. Okay. Then delete works same as get and put works same as post. Okay, so I just have put up two links, one showing how Linux deals it, but it explains things a bit better, and the one how you regularly deal with websites. Okay, to work with these stuff, the REST APIs, you usually go and install Postman for Google Chrome. In the Chrome Web Store, you find something called Postman. Okay, you would install it first, alright, and then you will open it. I have already installed, don't worry. So once you open it, guys, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, 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 okay. This is my first time I'm using it on this machine. Summarize. Oh God. Um, okay, skip. I have option to skip. Thank goodness. Then this URL, uh, whatever you see here, kind of this URL, I put it here. Whatever request I want to put, I'll drop it here. These are all the REST API operations, but only get, post, put, and delete are the frequently used ones. Rest are rarely used. Okay. Then you put the URL here. In case of post, you will also put something here, um, like I have told you the payload. So you pass the payload in this box below, like this. You pass it here, okay, and then put the send. Once you hit the send request, the response will be received. Sample REST API. Okay. So X methods, if is relevant, wonderful. Currency converter, code. I'm just picking up a random one. I have no idea what all they have listed up here. Okay. So these are the sample APIs. There might be SOAP or REST. I don't remember. Then Apache, Blue, SOAP. Yeah, well, they're not working. And this one's crazy. Okay, anyways, I know. Yeah, so this is how each of the URLs will look like, and they will have payload information attached to them. Okay. Mm, so for further information, when you have some free time after you practice, you can go to this website, restapiatutorial.com. I have put the URL here for the HTTP method synthesis, but you can go to the home page and try what they have. Okay, that's mostly about it. So any doubts from the existing stuff?
I couldn't get the log thing going. Don't you have to download the jar files for that too?
Yeah, log4j. You'll have to
Yeah,
download some jar for that. Alright,
I downloaded
jar
it, but
for J.
it gives me trouble.
Okay, they have a simple one here. And Maven project with soups. Okay, in the Maven, you drop this. In the pom.xml, you drop this extra dependency, and that would get you the jar file anyways. Okay, then you have one more file called log4j.properties somewhere, which should include some information like this. Okay, once you get it up and running, you can fiddle it with later and change the parameters like this one. You can change this. Okay. And
Hmm.
then the explanation is given here. Why do they have such a format? Okay, that would print it like this in the file, this format. It looks fishy, but this is how it prints end of the day. Okay, inside your main script, you do this. Okay,
Can you do that in a test case or?
um, wherever you write the bunch of the test cases, right? So in there you will have before class, at the rate before class thingy. So in that setup method, you will write this. Okay, or you can write it above
Mhm.
all the methods, making it a global variable. Then inside each of your method or test case, you can do this. You can simply say logger dot error, logger dot warn, blah blah in your test case. So here is an example. So here you declare it as a global variable. So hello example will be the name of your class. Okay,
Mhm.
and uh, right, and then this is your main, which you ignore if you're writing test cases with the help of testng. Least bothered about this. Then you have your methods one by one. In any of the methods, you want to type in something into the file, but simply say like this logger.debug info one error file. Okay, you want this URL for a simple access. The output must be looking something like this. So till here it's enough. You don't have to go any further, which is not of much help for us, at least testers. When developers delve into it too much, we don't need so much. Okay. Anything else?
I remember uh, the codes I created, the reusable codes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to go over those. 'Cause, I think cause I couldn't use them either when I tried to uh to call it. Like it wasn't
So,
coming.
okay. So from the project that I gave you, there are parts,
Mhm.
bits and pieces of reusable codes, right? So were you
Yeah.
able to understand those at least? Were you able to
Yeah, I
put?
understand what was going there, but
No, no. See, first step is understanding someone else written code. Second step is writing your own code. Okay. If you're able to understand someone else code, yeah, then you can browse and get bits and pieces from someone else's code and put into your code. That's why I'm asking. You're able to understand the existing code or not?
oh,
I'm sorry.
this one.
I don't.
No, no,
I barely hear
uh,
you.
yes, I understand what's going in the code,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't understand how you're gonna call it into your own test, in your own class.
Okay. Let me make you a presenter and I made you the presenter. Waiting for your screen. Okay.
So this is
So see,
your
it has util.java. It has some errors.
yeah, this is what I made.
Okay. Um. Right. Okay.
So see how
Just put that method where there is an error. Put that in comments. The whole method. 158 thingy. The public void auto closable. The whole method. Put it in comments. Mm, still I see some errors. Go a bit down. You have to put this thing in up to line 170. Put it inside the comments. Yeah, till there. Makes sense. Save it. Make sure that the red mark on the header of the util.java is gone. Okay, now
mhm.
uh, go to the beginning of your util.java. Okay. So where is your script?
Script.
Then the test cases .java. Where have you written it? Where do you want to use these util.java? You want to use them in a file where you are writing test cases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so open any of those test cases which you want to work with.
Uh,
Anything.
let's see what you do with this one.
Yeah, please.
So I open it or
Yeah, open it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then inside the public static void main, mm, hit enter. So type in, as I say, util space new underscore util new underscore util, just some random name, equals new space util, and close the line. Yeah. And after new util, put a parenthesis. No, no, after,
Okay.
before the semicolon. Yeah, right. Then hit enter. New underscore util dot new underscore util dot. What was your first method in the util.java to open the web driver? Firefox browser?
Yeah,
Firefox browser?
yeah, probably Firefox. Yeah,
Yeah, so call that. Go to your test case, new underscore util dot uh, control space Firefox browser. Yes, hit enter. So now you can remove line number 15, 16, 17, or leave the 15. Okay, remove 15, 16, 17. Delete them. Control D. 15, 16, 17. Yes. Then new underscore util dot after 16. After 16.
after 16.
Yes. After 16. Before 17. After that. After the string URL thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. New underscore util dot um, the is it driver don't, sorry, URL.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, dot control space URL, hit enter. Yeah. Uh, in the place of base URL, put this variable which you have declared for URL with the name URL. Write URL instead of base. Yes, that's it. So you can remove the line 17 also. Oh, that is required.
Mm.
Yeah, that is required. 17 you need to remove. Okay, you declared a variable called URL, and after that you are passing the URL to the function which actually opens the web page. So inside the new util.url you wrote driver.get. So
Right.
you remove the driver.get here. Here it contains driver.get. So in your function you remove the line driver.get. So you simply get those lines from your main function, and whichever function in utils, whichever replaces that match, you will call it. So you were calling the driver. Okay, in here Firefox browser will match it. So we remove the driver over there. Then driver.get the line number 20 matches. So we did new util.url. Similarly, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
maximize after this, you would simply call new util.maximize driver. So that is how you call the functions from another util file.
Okay.
So that's how you use them.
So, but in case of this, where you actually need the web element and you're
You don't,
sending
you,
something to.
you don't have to do anything. In line number 30, fill in the XPath. You didn't write the XPath, okay?
Yeah.
Write the XPath and then leave it for now. Later on you can do. Just
Mm-hmm.
remember. Then go to your gmail underscore login.java. Okay. Uh, so line number 18, 19, 20, depict just the same what you wrote in util dot username, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 18, 19, 20 can be removed. No, remove 18, 19, 20 completely. Now write that new util dot username. Okay, so you need username here. So in line number 17, right, perfect. Put a double quotes and write bike dot. Yeah, that fits. Or else you can do like line 16. First you write a string username equal to blah blah. Then you new util dot username of blah blah. Okay.
Can you say that one more time? Again?
So like line number 16, you said string URL equal to something, and then you
Yeah.
pass that URL variable in the method that you used later in line number 16, right?
Yeah.
Similarly,
Mm-hmm.
you can do it here. You can write string un equal to double quotes beg space something un equal to double quotes beg. In line number 18, instead of typing in beg over there, you can say un. Remove the double quotes as well. Un. That's all. This is also one way of doing it. You can directly pass the detail or
Mm-hmm.
both will work. So this is how you use the utils which I have written.
Right. So this will include basically.
It replaces the username and clears and keys, web element, all those three lines. So you are simply
Mm-hmm.
replacing the lines in your main program with the lines which exactly match in your utils.
Mm-hmm. And I just have to change the extract over here in case I'm
You
using
can
a
say
different
ID
one.
by dot ID like how
Mm-hmm.
you were doing it earlier. You can say by dot ID and put the ID in the double quotes.
Alright, so talking about like the by ID, by name, and the expat, right?
Yeah, anything works.
Yeah, but
Anything
sometimes it's easier
to go by
when
ID.
it's by name.
Sometimes it is
Yeah,
easier to go by ID, sometimes it's easier to go by expert. I agree.
yeah, so,
Because, okay, on the promotions tab, right click, right click, inspect. Yeah, if you look at the ID, it says 2K.
mm-hmm.
Okay. What if someone has all five tabs provided by Gmail, like primary, social, promotions, update, forums. There are many other tabs that can be added, right? What if someone adds a
Mm-hmm.
new tab and reorganize the tab? They put promotions first and then they put social. So that number is the ID is going to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, in such a vulnerable case where things keep changing and not reliable, you write your own AS path based on something which is um, what do you call fixed,
Application.
something which is fixed. This 2K thing can change anytime. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so but for username and password, ID seems to be a easy option. So I think it varies.
Right, 'cause that's the only thing on the
Yeah,
page.
sometimes this and sometimes that. None of them is inferior, none of them is superior. Things work sometimes this way and things work sometimes that way. So, make some
Okay.
sense?
Another question I had.
Mm-hmm.
Open it here.
Yeah, please.
So you know how we do something, right? When we're automating, right? We do by like step by step, right?
Yes,
Like first
exactly.
we go on the website,
Exactly how you
then we
do manually, the same step by step you do it.
right.
Mm.
So you know how we do, like we will click over here, we clear and then send
Yeah,
whatever
instead of
information we put.
uh, clicking is equivalent to clear in case of a text box.
Right.
Yeah, next. What was your doubt?
So I'm gonna try to do this one, right?
Okay.
Bootstrap. I think I have it somewhere.
So you are
Um,
able to do with username and password boxes, right? The same
mhm.
thing? It is working, right? For
Yeah, but
username.
this one I couldn't do though.
It's okay, not a problem. Not everything can be automated. There are one or two things which work in a weird way. They cannot be easily fixed.
Mm, do it.
So
Yeah,
don't
because I was trying to do it, but
understand. I understand. Don't
I
worry
can.
so much.
So question, right? Let's say, can you
Right
do
click,
like three things? Like,
right click inspect.
mhm.
Yeah. Now say you're saying something.
Now what?
Now tell me what you were saying something, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So when I was automating it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I got this, and like I don't know why it's not there, but I can. Anyway, so I would get this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you would send keys over here too.
Yes.
But I was clicking on this, right?
Mm,
You do that, and you click on
there is
this, and
nothing.
then
This is
you go click
nothing.
on this one, and it adds it to this side.
Okay. Okay.
So like that wasn't happening when I was automating it. It was just giving me an error, I think.
Okay. So is your script kind of ready?
It was, I think, this one.
Run it.
Let me just see which one it says.
Yeah, fine. Run it.
There's one more.
Yeah, run your script. Okay, now is it not opening any browser or is it opening?
Just taking some time.
Yeah, it's opening. Oh, you're working with Firefox. It takes time.
This is a long
Okay.
one.
Data list filter. Yeah, it worked. You got the company name, title manager, and everything. What else do you want? This is something else. The one which you have
Um,
shown me is something else.
something else. DLS filter. Uh, this one. Yeah.
Mm. Mm, we are doing search dot send blank. You're not sending any keys.
Nothing happened.
You left it blank. Mm, okay.
And let's go back.
Bootstrap.
Yeah,
Type in bootstrap in line number 19.
and then for the search bar, I mean, I couldn't really find no unique ID or expat because both of them are the same thing.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, so I just took
Yeah,
whatever he gave me.
if there is no other option left, we can go with this.
Okay.
Mm, Model your receiver. It's entering. Then you have to click on that. This one, Mobiliore receivers. Down, down. The result. Yeah, you have to click on that. Then only this button will be enabled. So here you missed clicking on that. This step you are missing. So that's why it's not working. Not here. Yes. So inspect. Take the text path and simply say click. You can modify the text path later on. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm,
mm, yeah, now the element result equal to driver dot something result
how
you
do I
can,
do it?
yeah, change the text path.
Result?
Nothing, ignore. Change the text path. Now in 22, Morbi dot click. Hmm. Delete. Try. Try running it now. Try running it now. Let's see if it works. It threw up some errors. It was not able to find the text path. In line number 20, put thread dot sleep 2000 or maybe 3000. In 20, yeah, thread dot sleep 3000 something. Run it. Hmm. Okay. That means that web element is not being able to interact. It's okay. It's okay. Leave it.
But
All you have to do
instead
is
of
click it and then click on the button.
then you can just click on this instead, right?
Yeah, human intervention can do anything, but not automation can deal with it, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. No, that was all missing. You have to click it and then click on the button. Move right. That's enough. It may not work
That's
here, but in some other applications it will work.
mm-hmm.
Why are you removing that?
So what does it works without that instead?
Okay,
I think it should have.
may not work.
Work.
It worked.
Yeah. Came right here.
Right.
Yeah, because instead of putting the search bar, I just did it directly from over here.
Okay, it is changing the positions of the elements, so it's not able to
Yeah.
figure out the express properly.
Yeah.
Good. So you diagnosed it.
And where's the so in this project, right?
Hmm.
The KVS.
Yes, yes.
Where was your
I don't think
your
there is.
reusable?
Sorry, Log4j.
Where are your reusable? The
Uh,
reusable code?
Reusable code. Okay.
I
Um,
forgot the reusable code.
Open
Yeah.
src test Java. Src test Java. Above that,
Is it?
src test Java.
Yes, yes,
Go
okay.
5 lines above it. Yes. Expand. So
And
here, open the enterprise search test.java. Open it. No, no, no. Ayo, it's a Java file. You are not expanding it. In line number
then
13, click on the plus. Yes. So in line number 27, 28, 29, you can see these three items, 27, 28, 29. These are the guys which contain the reusable codes. Because the one above are all predefined, java.io, org.openqa.selenium, all those are predefined. Okay, so these are the only custom items I see, 27, 28, 29. So in line number 27, you do a control click on ES test case. Perfect. So the ES test case thingy opened, which is actually right above the enterprise search test.java in your folder structure.
here.
Yeah, that one. And then you have two other stuff. Here also you can expand line number 12 and see what are being imported. These all seem to be predefined items. Predefined. Everything seems to be predefined. Okay. Then you have something here, line number 90 to 95.
Automation.
So
What is this?
in line number 93, do a control click. In line number
Automation transfer.
One second. In my number 64, do a control click on the middle word. On the middle word.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. So they have developed in very deep layers. So the utils
Yeah.
they implemented in one more utils kind of stuff, and then they used that. So it's not kind of direct. They use one in another and one in another and deep. Okay.
Right. So basically, like this test case, right?
Mhm.
I mean, let's say your file is right here, right, with all the reusable codes, right? It's
Mm,
under a different project over here,
so
but you can
on
still
the
use it,
top,
right?
you see the complete path on the top header of your Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
QS automation
I'm
slash
just saying.
src slash main java com qualcomm QS automation framework controllers HTML. This is the entire path you see for the framework. Okay. On the top, on the very top of your application of workspace.
Yeah, see.
Workspace hyphen Java hyphen QS. QS
Yeah,
automation is the name of the project. SRC main Java. Inside that,
yeah.
it's in COM.
Mm-hmm. So
The
I see controllers over here, though.
framework. One second. No, no. Under that, there is two more packages. Yeah. Dot framework, dot controllers. Under that, there is
Yeah,
one
this
more.
one.
Dot controllers, dot HTML, which is the one you want.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, HTML. Inside which there is automation HTML page controller dot Java. You collapse the entire sheet.
Right here, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically, even though it's in another folder, you're still able to use it, right?
Go to Navigator rather than Project Explorer.
Mhm.
That's why I said okay, Project Explorer will be a bit confusing. So minimize the automation folder. Go
Mhm.
to QS automation. Now you can go to actually folder by folder. SRC main, SRC, then main, Java, COM, Qualcomm, QS automation, framework, controllers, HTML, expand. Now you see it. So Navigator gives you a better picture rather than Package Explorer.
Mhm.
Package Explorer is a bit confusing.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
And
Mhm. I go to task.
common and then test cases inside the test cases. And outside the test cases, you have this es test case.java. Minimize the test cases folder. Right under the test cases folder name, you see something called es test case.java, which we have seen earlier.
Mhm.
It's all like
So basically the
interlinked.
same.
It's all like interlinked.
Well, all right. So,
Interlinked folder.
so this test case is getting stuff from this, and this is getting stuff from like right here, basically.
Mm,
Okay. And now what?
okay. Shall we call it a day? Maybe you can buzz me in my daytime tomorrow. Hmm? You can try to play around. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.